Are you ready to break free from the doubts and limits holding you back? Welcome to Embrace Your Value, where therapy meets coaching to help you unlock your true worth and take control of your life.
Hi, I'm Kristen, a trauma therapist dedicated to helping you heal, break old patterns, and reclaim your power.
And I'm Jen, your support coach, here to show you how to set fierce boundaries, embrace self-compassion, and step boldly into the life you deserve.
So whether you're stuck in self-doubt or feeling lost, know this: your value isn't up for negotiation. It's time to own it.
Every week, we tackle real issues that challenge, inspire, and empower you to live with purpose and confidence.
So grab your favorite drink, take a deep breath, and let's get started.
Because you're not here to play small. It's time to embrace your value. Let's start with something I see constantly. A lot of women don't actually struggle to know where their boundary is. They struggle with what happens after they say it. They say no, or they say, that doesn't work for me, or they're even choosing themselves. And then their body reacts. Their chest might tighten. Their thoughts speed up. They start circling their thoughts going, oh my gosh, I did something wrong. They feel almost this uncontrollable urge to explain, or they might even start over explaining. And the reason they're doing this is not because what they did was wrong, but they feel like they have to soften it or justify it or make sure that the person really understands. And what Kristen and I want to talk about today is why that explaining often leaves you feeling more unsettled than the boundary itself. And the reason this is it's not a communication problem. It's a nervous system response. Most women learned early on that clarity alone wasn't enough to keep connection. You had to be agreeable. You had to be reasonable. You had to make sure no one was uncomfortable because of you. So when you say no now, your body doesn't celebrate self-respect. It goes on alert. It scans for danger, for disappointment, for withdrawal, for tone changes. Oh my gosh, are they mad at me? Oh my gosh, what are they going to say about me to their friends, their family? What did I do wrong? They're never going to talk to me again. Those are the things. And so when we feel that way, we start to explain. And explaining becomes the fastest way your nervous system knows how to restore safety. Not because you're unsure, not because you're doing something wrong, and not because you don't trust yourself, but because somewhere along the way, explaining worked. It kept the peace. It reduced backlash. It helped you stay connected. So if you've ever walked away from a boundary conversation, feeling shaky or drained or questioning yourself, I want you to hear this clearly. That reaction doesn't mean your boundary was wrong. It means your body hasn't learned yet that you can hold a boundary without earning approval.
Yes, and I really want to slow this part down because it is such an important distinction. Explaining is not a flaw. It's a strategy. From a nervous system perspective, explaining is often an attempt at regulation to get the body back in sync. Your body's trying to say, if I can help you understand me, then maybe I'll feel safe. And that's all we want is safety, right? Like that's our number one need is just to feel safe. So when someone responds with confusion, frustration, or silence, your system, your nervous system ramps up. Your breath changes. Maybe it speeds up. Your shoulders lift, right? We're tensing our muscles. Your voice might soften because you're withdrawing or because you're trying to be softer. It might speed up because you want to explain. Suddenly, you're giving context, history, and emotional labor that you never intended to offer to that person. You just want to explain. It's not because you lack boundaries. It's because your nervous system is reading this moment as danger. And here's the key piece. Understanding from that other person does not equal safety. But many of us were conditioned that it did. If you grew up in an environment where being misunderstood led to consequences, your body learned that explanation protected you. So now, in this moment in your life, even in safe or relatively safe relationships, your system reacts as if the stakes are still high. That's why explaining can be dysregulating. You go into fight or flight, your body can't come out. So you start to explain and then you get dysregulated. You're trying to manage someone else's response instead of staying connected and centered in yourself. Your system moves outward instead of inward. And the more you explain and the more you think they don't understand, the more activated you become. Not because the conversation is going badly. They may not even be responding negatively. They're just not responding with understanding. Your body is working overtime. You're in that fight or flight response system. So when someone asks the question, why do I feel worse after I explain myself? The answer is usually because your nervous system never got support way back when. You never learned that skill. You were never able to hone in on your own nervous system and manage it.
And that's such an important point because so many women think the solution is to find better words, to script it perfectly, to say it nicer, to explain it more clearly. But what's actually needed is more capacity. Capacity is that space that you can hold when you're feeling discomfort, when you're feeling dysregulated. This is a capacity to tolerate someone else's discomfort, capacity to stay present when you're not immediately reassured. It's okay. And capacity to hold your ground without rushing to fix the moment. We are not meant to fix everything. We're not meant to fill every silent gap. Sometimes we just have to let people sit in their own thing and process for themselves. The capacity that you hold doesn't come from forcing yourself to stop explaining. It comes from helping your body feel steadier, from learning that you can say no and survive the emotional wave that follows. This is why I tell women all the time, boundaries don't require a speech. They require self-trust. And self-trust is built when you notice the urge to explain and choose to pause instead. Because what's really happening is you're choosing you over their discomfort. They have to figure out their way of regulating, and this is you taking care of you.
Exactly. It's not our job to regulate other people, right? We have to focus on our own regulation. It's putting on that oxygen mask for yourself before you put it on for the other person, child, whoever. right? You have to regulate yourself. So the moment before you explain is the moment to pay attention to. And in that moment, you will start to have physical sensations in your body. We've talked about this before, that fight or flight manifests as a physical response in your body. So it could be the tightening of your chest, the pull to soften and withdraw, that internal, oh no feeling, which is probably adrenaline. That's not the signal to keep talking. That's the one we were conditioned to think had to lead us to explain more. That's actually your signal to ground, to slow your breath, to feel your feet, to remind your body that this moment is happening now and not then. We're not responding to an event that happened to us in the past that caused us to dysregulate. We're trying to respond to a situation that's happening now. So when you can stay with yourself in that moment, even briefly, your nervous system learns something new. It says, I can hold this. I don't have to convince. I don't have to regulate. I don't even have to be understood in this moment. I can stay here and stay present and stay in the right now. That's regulation. Doesn't have to be calm. Doesn't have to be perfection. It just has to be presence. So I'd like to do a little exercise, and I call this an after boundary regulation. So I want to offer this to you right after. So this is something to think about right after you set a boundary. It's especially helpful if your body feels fuzzy, buzzy, tight, unsettled, disrupted, any of those things. You don't need to change anything or even do this perfectly. Progress above perfection. It's just about trying it. It's just about, taking those first couple steps. Just listen, if you will, and take what feels supportive. First, listeners, notice where you are. If it feels okay, let your eyes gently look around the space that you're in and notice something solid. A wall, a piece of furniture, maybe the floor beneath you. Let your eyes just rest there for a moment. Now, bring attention to your body. Notice one place that feels neutral or steady. Not calm, not relaxed, just steady. It might be your feet. It might be your hands. It could be your back against the chair. Stay with that place for a few seconds. Now, gently place one hand on your body, wherever it feels natural. Your chest, your belly, your thigh. It's not to calm yourself. It's simply to offer contact. Let your body feel that touch. Notice your breath. Feel it in through your nose. Feel the air coming in and the air going out. You don't need to change it or regulate it in this moment. Just notice where it's easiest to feel right now. And when it feels natural, if it feels natural, allow one slightly longer exhale. No forcing, no fixing. Now, silently or out loud, if you wish, offer your body one sentence. Something simple like, that's over. I handled that. I'm here now. You don't have to believe it in this moment. Just have to let the words land. Take one more moment to notice your body. Is there anything even 1% different than when you started? If not, that's okay. This practice isn't about feeling better. It's not about solving what's going on with you. It's about letting your nervous system know that the moment has passed. You can return to this exercise anytime after a boundary or a hard conversation or that familiar urge to explain. The more often your body experiences support after holding your ground, the easier boundaries will feel over time.
Kristen, that was so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us and for teaching us how to do that. That was wonderful. So to all our friends out there, if this episode resonates with you, here's a question I'd love for you to take with you. What happens in your body right after you say no? Not what you think, not what you say, but what you feel. Because that's where the real work begins. Not in saying, I need stronger boundaries, but in learning how to stay with yourself when you feel dysregulated and when you're setting that boundary. Because I know that you can do it. Thank you for listening. And if you feel so inclined, please subscribe to this and let us know what really resonated with you.
And if you would, let us know how that exercise landed with you and if it was helpful.
Thank you all.
Thank you for being here with us today.
If today's episode hit home, don't just keep it to yourself. Subscribe, leave us a review, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Because everyone deserves to know their worth.
Next week, we're diving even deeper with more insights and tools to help you break free from limitations and live authentically.
Until then, keep raising your standards, owning your worth, and embracing your value.